What we've just had was an overview of what this country needs in order to create job opportunities. The president, from the snippet by that we've had, says that mbona mnanilaumu mimi, hii ni mashida yenye niliwapata nayo, like you guys didn't have jobs when I was coming in, why are you blaming me for it? And the expert is saying that no government can create enough jobs for its people. And that is just, well, when we were talking on the sideways with the guest, he said that I should be asking students, why are you in campus? If that student tells you that it's for me to get a job, tell that student, wachana na hiyo masomo, and atafuta biashara. An example was given of someone who has done matatu for 3 years, saved, bought his own car, and now he understands everything around matatus. And in like 10 years, when you are done with school, aliachia form 4, you now become the manager of his matatus. The A-class students are employed by the D-class students or C-class students. So, and this has also fueled, the reason why we had that story is because we've had this regime really struggling with the Gen Zs and millennials. The lot that studied between 2003 and 2017, the ones that were competent, not competence-based, but outcome-based curriculum, where ukipata A, wewe ni William say. And those who studied 2 or 3 going backward, we've had most of them are plumbers, most of them are doing these manual jobs. But the lot from 2003 to 2017, ndio wenye wanaitwa maduanzi. Like what they know is formal jobs. And that is what is creating problems in our country. A generation that President Ruto now has to deal with. Now, before we get into Ruto's tough job of quelling Gen Z crisis, apart from the unemployment issue, what else do you think, Ojwang, is really fueling unrest and detest of government officials or politicians?
The government and how it's handling our economic system is the root problem of all our issues as the youth of this country. Why? If the system is working right in this country, the society should not expect any graduate to go knock in search of jobs. That could happen to people of diploma and below who have invested their time in crafting. Maybe they are plumbing, maybe they are doing electric and electronic, maybe they are doing automotive and mechanical engineering, ile ya kutengeneza magari, diploma kurudi. But hao wengine wote wanafaa nao wakae chini kama think tank wa create jobs. That should happen to everyone. The society expects once Blue Smile graduates aanze kufikiri venye anaajiri watu. That is why when you are in campus, you are supposed to have something of your own in terms of a company, in terms of a CBO, in terms of a self-help group, so that you can start providing solutions as you are learning, so that by the time you are graduating, you may provide. But that would be impossible in a country where on the standard, page 22, they are talking about economy feels the pinch as June inflows drop 2.1 billion Kenya shillings. Why? Because the country is not stable politically. The investors are busy running away instead of coming back. From whatever that happened during Sabasaba protests, we've heard investors saying they are relocating to other countries. And more people will lose jobs. We are talking about there are not enough jobs. More people will lose jobs. When goons are hired to go and destroy banking institutions, to go and destroy supermarkets, to go and loot, those people working in there will lose jobs too. Who is to blame? The government will take the blame, 70% for not taking control and being in power. Because being in power is not killing me. If you're shooting everyone, by 2027, we are a country of lame people. we will, with people like Faith, with people like Kiprop, tutakimbia, tutakuwa tunashinda Paralympics pekee juu hizi zingine hatuko. Ruto ameshoot kila mtu in the leg, akienda kulia barabara anauliwa. Why? 30% is us as a country. Tumekataa kusoma kabisa. When the late President Kibaki, whom I respect so much, was introducing the free primary education FPE in 2003, I was joining standard 4. I would not have proceeded to standard 4 were it not for that man. May God bless him. Always may his soul rest in eternal peace. At that time, machifu walikuwa wanakuja mtaani kuchukua watoto wamekataa kuenda shule wawaforce waingie. Wale ambao walifika standard 8 na wakakataa, wakasema masomo sio suruali, ndio hao upewa 500 bob waende wakuwe goons. You see, they've started calling, differentiating Gen Z and Gunzi. Why? There's nothing like that comparison. Gen Z is a whole generation of everyone born between 1997 to 2012, whether you are pro-government or not. I've had cases where parents are saying their children are not Gen Zs because they are out there. In other cases, members of parliament, 50 years and above, saying that one time they were Gen Zs and they had more Gen Z fire than the current Gen Zs. The current Gen Zs will always be Gen Z forever and never. Amen, if you're coming from the Christian religion. And mashallah, if you know Blue Smile Hassan. I'm going to change. I cannot call myself a Gen Z. I was born in the year 1993. But utasikia huko nje wazee wakisema, "Hey, wewe Gen Z. You look smart, you are a Gen Z. You look dirty, you are a Gunzi." We must embrace and rethink education.
All right.
From your feature story, everyone who went to school before 203, siku hizi ni wao ndo mafundi, hao ndo wanafanya hizo vitu, si ndio? From 203 to 2017, education has been reimagined and people are providing solutions. In this day and age, madem peke juu nimeona wanaume including wale ambao ni wanaishi na ulemavu wakidance. Everyone can dance on TikTok and earn something. In a country where bado tunalia hakuna pesa. You know what, tunalia hakuna pesa, but you and I and him, we are still resilient, tunaonekana bado tuko. Wazazi wetu ndio wanalia zaidi. Juu sisi tumeweza kupenyeza kanjia kamoja kawili digitally upate kashilingi even when you are not employed. Everyone should gear all thoughts of education towards that level. Unajisaidiaje ndio uweze kusaidia wengine. Si unaingia KU, unaishigi kule hivyo PML, Postmodern Library, because it's the best and biggest in Eastern Central Africa. Wewe unaishigi tu hapo kwa vitabu, unamaliza after 4 years unasema hakuna kazi. Tunakuwa na kitengela na donkey na cat ukisukuma maji, alafu unasema hakuna kazi. It's a shame. It's a shame when you scored A's everywhere and you're crying hakuna job. Wewe utajisaidia lini? President Kibaki once asked, and that question challenged people like us. Tutaacha lini kuuliza serikali itatusaidia lini na sisi tusaidie serikali? That's why there are people, others like me who are visually impaired, who are PWDs, but utasikia mtu huko nje akikuomba kachuani, akikuomba tu. So jua akikuangalia, anaona wewe unafaa unipe do, lakini pia wewe hauna.
So, unaona? Wewe ni visually impaired when you people with disability.
Mimi ni low vision, a condition sijui vile nitakuexplainia, but it's known, it's in public domain. I've not had the card, but ukiangalia huyo uko na miwani, wewe uko na miwani, mimi niko na miwani. Do we see the same? Visual impairment ni ile yenye all these people are not seeing the same.
Wacha mchezo wewe. This way. Yeah, I
So
know.
I think people who come to televisions and speak about unemployment need to be very courteous to the population, to stop complaining and rather preach solutions. One, we are dealing with a generation that is it's very right to complain because we want the government to change the policy, and probably majority might be disillusioned, wanting the government to give them jobs, which according to many people it is in their rights. I'll say that we need to preach on Ojwang was talking about skills. Right now, we have the sustainable development goals, and most of these people who are doing CSRs mostly are teaching people or youths to get skills. In this set, in this studio, most of us maybe did not study for what we're doing right now, but we gain the skills. So to any all of those young people who are maybe watching Ojwang and I and our host Sly here, we need to understand that we need to get those skills. And as much as we praise President Kibaki for giving us the free education, and the job crisis, the unemployment crisis that we have right now, will tell us that the 844 system was probably not the solution for all this, because right now it was a more of outcome based curriculum that I have to get A's. I used to feel very bad when I was not getting those good grades. Maybe my parents also made me feel bad when I was not becoming number one. They did not care whether I was understanding what I was being taught. They just wanted me to get 400 bucks when I was in primary. They wanted me to get A's. In fact, when I got E at a subject maybe I did not like, they were probably on toes with me, and they thought that I was foolish, I was dumb. But here we have a CBC curriculum that is coming in place, and I thank President Uhuru Kenyatta for bringing it in place. I was going through some of the things that the CBC curriculum maybe stands for. Right now I have been informed that it has been renamed to CBE. Yeah, so it is more into skill development. At an earlier age, as maybe a young person, in grade 1, 2, 3, they start introducing hard concepts to them. That's the reason why we need your parents to maybe help. So as this student gets to maybe the higher grades, he or she decides to, maybe I have tried chemistry, this is not my thing, maybe let me go to this skill. And as we study and bring this generation Gen Alpha coming into place, we will probably not have an unemployment crisis, or we will be solving this unemployment crisis from the root base. Because these students, right now, we Gen Z, we have to go to CBOs, learn skills. But your CBO was really doing good in teaching people, young people, especially from the informal settlement areas, let's say Githurai and other places, these skills. But these students will learn skills from in their curriculum, so it will actually be helping solving this problem. So I am calling upon to everyone who is going on TV talk about it's okay that the government has failed to bring solution to this unemployment problem. But let's preach people just not to sit back on their phones. I heard that someone in Kaptengli could just click a laptop and then money comes. So let's not just focus on these digital jobs and stuff. There are many other skills. The ground is very wide that we can actually get money. Because yes, I have a degree maybe in English and literature, a Bachelor of Arts degree in English and Literature, but probably the publishing house that could actually accommodate me, there is none. What should I do? I should not sit at home and look at my parent or look at my relative and then we brainstorm. As a young person, you should take it upon you, because you probably will be a parent in the near future, or perhaps many are parents, but they are not under full responsibility of parenthood. But in 2 or 3 years, as much as whether we're seeing one term or we're seeing Kumi Bila break, you'll be a parent. And you might not even be a parent, you'll have responsibilities. If you have responsibility and you're waiting for your degree to give you jobs, we have teachers, by the way, who are actually almost turning to the retirement period, and they're actually jobless. TSC has not even given them, allocated them to schools. So we need to look for solutions. Much as it's good to complain. Yeah, it's good to complain, by the way, to just say one term. It's good. But what are we building ourselves on? So right now we have even embassies who are actually coming out and telling youth, or through CBOs, come, we teach you skills. Let's youth join these CBOs and learn skills. Yeah, that's my take home.
All right, muda umetupa kisogo. As you give us, I'm giving you a minute each. What then should Ruto do to quell Gen Z crisis? and even as you give your closing remarks. Ojo.
I reflect so much on things I learn along the way as I live my life. Na jana kuna jamaa aitwa Riga Nadero Onyango, and he was talking about in his lines za Kikwetu, vile kama hapa kuna kinyesi hauwezi tumia mchanga kufunika, and then you say umeondokea all that ngori. The smell will still stink and it will be very bad. We be cautious in the things we do. We consider other people and how it will affect their future. Today, this regime, through the president, should call themselves for an introspection. How many families are being broken under their watch? The fear that was there during the Moi dark eras is still there with our parents. I have been in big events, including graduations, where parents are warning their children against chanting one term. And encouraging them to have their voters card ready to vote in 2027. But those Gen Z and millennials, bado wakishika mic, kitu cha kwanza wanaanzaga nayo ni one term. People have forgotten how to say hello, good evening and good morning. Wanaanzaga na one term. You should ask yourself, all these millions of people don't want me, but I want them. Why? Asante.
All right, thank you so much, John. Just Mike?
I'll say that the citizens of Kenya need to look back on what has happened in this country and decide that enough is enough. We need to have a dialogue. Less Raila Odinga is calling for. We should avoid all this noise and have a sit on a national dialogue and introspect this Kenya. It is our country, either in the opposition or you are supporting the government. So that's my take home. Let's have dialogue.
We had broad-based, we had handshake, we had broad-based.
I saw that coming.
We are now going to, we have after NADCO, this the next one we call NADCLIF.
Intergenerational national dialogue.
This is
and it is Raila who is calling
but
it.
it's his take.
Yeah,
It is your take.
Yeah, but we need the dialogue actually.
Sawa. Unajua hata techno si kila mtu anachukua hiyo sio.
I take no for that.
All right. Now, that marks the end of our Biashara Tuesday this morning. And just so you know, today if you'll be going to fuel your cars for petrol, diesel and kerosene, you'll have EPRA has announced an increase of 8.99 shillings, 8.67 shillings, and 9.65 shillings respectively per litre. In Nairobi, super petrol will be sold at 186.31 shillings, diesel at 171.58 shillings, and kerosene will be retailing at 156.58 Kenyan shillings. In Mombasa, that's also another highest. Petrol will be going for 183.02 shillings, diesel at 168.30 shillings, and kerosene at 153.29 shillings. You remember when you were being told that brace up for tough economic times. We are having the war between Russia and Israel, and that is probably the reason why we are having fuel hiked prices. If not that, we're also having economic sabotage by having numerous or several protests in the month of June and July, so that will definitely be affecting our economies. We'll also have lower cases of collected GDP in the coming month because several jobs were destroyed. That means several people also are left jobless in the country. So we are probably going to be having also increased borrowing in this financial year because the GDP that we have targeted to be collecting will be increased. Prices of commodities will also be increased. That means you'll be paying more for commodities because once a fuel prices is tampered with or is increased, that means your commodities prices are also increased. That marks the end of Biashara Tuesday this morning. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Asante
On
sana.
behalf of the whole production team, Rise Today, Biashara Tuesday, led by my producer Ryan Gure, we thank you so much for being part of us this morning. Until next time, it's bye from us.
Black market.